Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back into Otram's YouTube channel. Today we've got another basic maintenance video. We're going to do an oil change on a 2020 GX460. So let me move you over so you can get a better view and we'll get started. And as always, we're going to start up top and we're going to make sure that we can get the oil fill cap open because we don't want to drain the oil without being able to put it back in. And we're also going to come over here and check the oil level before we drain it, to make sure we're not burning an excessive amount, because a lot of the newer modern engines are burning oil quicker between oil changes. So we want to keep a good tally on what's going on. And this one is good. We're right on the full mark still. So no worries there. And we can go underneath and start the actual oil change. First thing we're going to do is take this skid plate out of the way because the oil filter is up here behind it. So we're going to take a little pocket screwdriver and we're going to pop this clip out. And we're going to take a 10mm socket and take the two bolts that are holding the plastic bumper on loose. And then a 12mm socket. Helps if you put it on the right way around. And then there's some hooks that'll kind of hang that. Okay, so we got the skid plate thing off of here. Looking at it after I got it off, one of the retainer tabs had been bent backwards, and that's why it wouldn't come out of the front cross member. But that's out of the way. Normally, I would not recommend pulling that all the way off. Once I move the camera around, you'll be able to see it better, but you can get access to the filter without removing it. So now we need to move back here a little bit. And with a 12mm, take this access panel off. And that'll get us to the oil drain plug right here. It's a 14mm socket. And we'll let that drain for a little bit. And you want to make sure that your drain plug comes off. We're going to replace this. Okay, so we've sufficiently drained. Actually went to lunch while this was draining and came back. And I've got my new drain plug gasket. Put it on my drain plug that we've cleaned up. I'm going to thread that in there. Then we're going to torque that to 30 foot-pounds. And we'll wipe that down. And I'm going to leave the access panel off for now because after I'm all done, I'm going to warm the truck up and then come back down and make sure we don't have any leaks before I put all the covers back on. So let me move you over a little bit and we'll do the filter. So our oil filter is in this housing right up here, kind of right behind the sway bar. To take it off, you're going to need a special filter wrench. I really like these click wrench ones. They fit really well. I've never had one slip, and they have a torque limiter so that you don't need a torque wrench to put it back on. It automatically breaks away when you hit the proper torque. Well, this one used to. I actually broke it, so we're going to have to use a torque limiter. But, yeah, really great wrench. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen the filter up a little bit. And once we get it loose enough that the O-ring isn't seated in the groove anymore, it's going to start to drip. And we're going to let it sit like that for a while and drain the housing so we don't make a big mess pulling that filter out while it's still full of oil. Okay, so now that that's done dripping, go ahead and pull it out, make some more mess. And still had quite a bit coming out of there. So I'm gonna wiggle the filter up out of the housing, and then I'm gonna go clean out the housing and I'll be back. Okay, so I went and sprayed this all out with brake clean. You wanna be real careful of this center metal piece. It kind of just snaps into the bottom, and if you get this dislodged, it's spring loaded and hard to get back in there, and this is the oil bypass valve down in the bottom, so you don't wanna mess with this. So the next thing we're gonna do is just gonna take a pocket screwdriver and we're gonna peel the O-ring off because we're gonna put a new one on. And just new O-ring. And we're just gonna kinda roll it down. And you'll see it lines up in this groove. There's a shallower groove down here. Don't put it in that. It's this groove that's right under the threads. I'm gonna go get some oil and lube that real quick. So I just ran some fresh oil around that ring to lube it so it goes in so it doesn't get sticky. And then we can just slide the new filter housing on, or the filter element rather. And let me bring you back underneath. So I'm just gonna give the housing a quick wipe, make sure it's clean before we put the new filter in. And then we'll just put that in there, get it started. And then the housing gets torqued to 25 Newton meters, and it's written on the end of the cap in case you forget. But it's very important to torque these. They're real easy to break, and they're also really easy to over tighten and get stuck. So there we go, 25 Newton meters. I'm gonna move the camera. I'm gonna spray this with brake clean, spray the drain plug with brake clean, and then I'll bring you up top to fill it back up. Okay, so now we're all ready to fill this back up. I'm just gonna put my handy spill-free funnel in here. And then this takes 8.2 quarts of 0W20. So I'm gonna do this at 4 quarts at a time because it's easier to pour. So here's the first 4 quarts.
All right, well, what we will be doing is resetting the oil life monitor on here. So with your foot off the brake, you're going to hit the start button twice. So the vehicle's on the on position. We're going to do it one more. There we go. Hit the back button, and we're going to arrow all the way over to your settings. Normally it'll be up here at the top. You'll arrow down to vehicle settings. And we did the oil change, so we're going to oil maintenance and hit yes. And you're all done.
So that was a quick video on changing the oil on a 2020 GX460. Hope that was helpful. Hope Cody was helpful in the oil life reset. If you have any comments, leave them down below. And I'm going to finish this up. I'm not going to make you guys watch me struggle to put that skid plate back on, but I'm going to raise this back up, check it for leaks, put skid plates back on, and then I've got to rotate the tires and do some other maintenance stuff on this. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.